So last night my brain was just not going to sleep, so I did something that y'all do, and I stayed up till like 3, 4 trolling, and I found some interesting stuff. I started diving into some of these moms that like to bash other moms for their content. Like, girl, let me take a minute and see what you're about for real. And maybe it's my soulless redhead side that's poking out a little bit, but I'm not gonna lie, I felt a little sense of relief seeing just how much these creators like to hide about their own lives while they sit and bash other people to try to make themselves look better. Talking about, let's go see my kid's filthy, disgusting bedroom. Let's go.
Hey Stephanie, I heard you were running your mouth, but every time you do about me, you can never seem to like say my name. And I'm gonna have my outfit linked because it's super cute. Talking about my all things worn as if that has anything to do with me being a mother is actually really crazy. To me, it seems like you are worried about everybody else's kids except your own. My kids are good, babe. I find it really funny that you say I'm trying to hide something, but I have a pinned video and the link in my bio. So what exactly is it that I'm trying to hide, Stephanie? You know what you're hiding though, and you never talk about it, is the fact that your husband that you are still married to is a PDF file. Not only did you marry a PDF file, you had children with him. Girl, please.
Buckle up, babe, because this tea is boiling, and Stephanie Jenkins just can't stop throwing herself into the fire. So here's the real scoop. Stephanie, aka Resilient Mom of 5, decided she was going to hop on TikTok late one night, probably in her feelings, probably off zero sleep, and she just went off. What started as a soft little rant about comparison online turned into a messy, low-key unhinged spiral that had everyone blinking like, wait, is she okay? She starts the video with the usual, pretending she was just mindlessly scrolling, couldn't sleep, blah blah blah. But then she slips. Not once. Multiple times. Suddenly, she's not just talking about mom guilt or comparison, she's firing shots at a very specific clean, calm, successful mom influencer. And even though she never said the name, everyone immediately knew it was Morgan. Yep, that Morgan, the one who's been keeping her distance and quietly calling Stephanie out without ever getting messy.
So last night my brain was just not going to sleep, so I did something that y'all do, and I stayed up till like 3, 4 trolling, and I found some interesting stuff. I started diving into some of these moms that like to bash other moms for their content. Like, girl, let me take a minute and see what you're about for real. And maybe it's my soulless redhead side that's poking out a little bit, but I'm not gonna lie, I felt a little sense of relief seeing just how much these creators like to hide about their own lives while they sit and bash other people to try to make themselves look better. Talking about, let's go see my kid's filthy, disgusting bedroom. Let's go.
But Stephanie couldn't resist. She goes off about how these moms who have picture-perfect houses are unrealistic, that their homes must be fake or overly staged. Sis literally says, if your house is spotless, I don't trust you. Like, huh? Is cleanliness now a red flag? But it gets worse. She shows her own motel room, yep, the same sad, cluttered space she's been temporarily living in with 5 kids and 1 bathroom, and proudly says, this is what real motherhood looks like.
Here. Because coming from an experienced mom of 5, when I tell you when kids actually live in the home full time, it gets messy. See, for example, Drew had just done this area 2-3 hours prior to me doing it, and then it needed to be done again because our kids were up, living their life, doing their kid thing, making a mess. I hate to break it to you, girl, but happy homes look lived in. Tired, exhausted, overstimulated moms don't always look their best. But just because they don't put on a face every day doesn't make them less of a mom or less of a woman. And on the other hand, there's also going to be mamas who disagree with the fact that people can be selling their body and or intimacies when they're a mama themselves, especially of daughters, because what are you raising your daughter to be okay with? I mean, make it make sense because y'all get the ick from me because I don't display this overly schmexualized person, but y'all, I got kids. Yeah, my life is currently a freaking mess, but I ain't hiding nothing. So y'all don't want to catch me with the time to troll because I'm gonna find that stuff you're hiding. Thanks for watching, bye-bye now.
Girl, what? She's out here glamorizing chaos like it's some aesthetic, like overcrowding and dysfunction equals authenticity. Spoiler, it doesn't. And then she drags Drew into it, again. She says he had just cleaned a few hours ago, and the place is already trashed. Honestly, it sounded less like a brag and more like a desperate attempt to justify the madness. Like she needed someone to blame. It was giving, don't judge me, judge the mess, but with extra attitude. She then hits us with a monologue about how moms like Morgan don't know the real struggle because they only have 2 kids and probably have help. Let's be real, she wasn't venting, she was seething. That wasn't frustration, it was jealousy dressed up as empowerment.
Let's go see my kid's filthy, disgusting bedroom. Let's go.
Not Stephanie coming for Morgan again. Not gonna lie, that was funny. But as an experienced mom of 4, Stephanie, my kids' bathrooms aren't trashed. And our house is lived in, but it's not trashed. Just like every other normal household. It's not gonna be trashed. It'll be lived in, but not a dumpster fire.
And babe, you thought that was the low point? Nope. Out of nowhere, she drops a seriously shady comment about women who sell their bodies and send the wrong message to their daughters. Let's not pretend we don't know who that was aimed at. It was a direct dig, dressed up in faux morality. And from someone who once coldly told her daughter, "When are you going to stop being disappointed?" It's not giving role model. It's giving projection. What makes it spicier? That line, it wasn't just mean. It was surgical. There was no emotion behind it. No flicker of remorse. It hit like something she's said 1,000 times before. And for a daughter to hear that from her own mother? That's not just hurtful, it's emotional conditioning. You could feel the damage.
Stephanie Jenkins has some nerve. Her last video, she says that she was trolling on the internet in the middle of the night because she couldn't sleep. But she noticed that some mothers are out on here selling their bodies and being over-schmexualized. But what is that telling their kids, especially their daughters? And I'm thinking to myself, what are you teaching your daughters? You literally told Addie not too long ago that she needs to get used to being disappointed by your boyfriend. But that's okay, because you're an experienced mama of 5. Cut it out, Stephanie. Sometimes I think she just goes on these rants so that she can prove a point, like she's doing everything right. But the proof is in the pudding, you're not. What are you doing for your children? That is simply the question that all of your followers ask you in your comments. I see your comments. They're asking you, what are you doing to improve their lives since you started making money on TikTok? And then you rebut with shaming other mothers. Trifling.
So now, instead of reflecting or taking accountability, Stephanie's out here trying to wear dysfunction like it's a badge of honor. She's lashing out, pointing fingers, trying to villainize anyone who's got a little more stability than she does. So while Stephanie was busy playing detective, thinking she was dropping some kind of bombshell, Morgan was already 10 steps ahead, unbothered, unashamed, and unapologetic. What Stephanie tried to pass off as a shocking exposé was, in reality, just a desperate attempt to stay relevant. Morgan's been upfront about her hustle from day one. She's got her links out in the open, her videos pinned, and her brand fully built around transparency. Nothing was hidden. Nothing was scandalous. The only person scandalized was Stephanie, and that's because she needed something, anything, to deflect from her own mess. And let's be real, Stephanie tried to spin this like some undercover mission.
Hey Stephanie, I heard you were running your mouth, but every time you do about me, you can never seem to say my name. And I'm gonna have my outfit linked because it's super cute. Talking about my all things worn as if that has anything to do with me being a mother is actually really crazy. To me, it seems like you are worried about everybody else's kids except your own. My kids are good, babe. I find it really funny that you say I'm trying to hide something, but I have a pinned video and the link in my bio. So what exactly is it that I'm trying to hide, Stephanie? You know what you're hiding though, and you never talk about it, is the fact that your husband that you are still married to is a PDF file. Not only did you marry a PDF file, you had children with him. Girl, please.
She was creeping through Morgan's content, trying to twist it into a "I gotcha" a moment like she was uncovering dirt, when really, she was just exposing her own obsession. Morgan's not the one living a double life, Stephanie is. She's online every day preaching about growth and honesty while sitting in the same motel room, with the same sad setup, recycling the same tired excuses. No job. No plan. No progress. Meanwhile, Morgan is out here actually working, no mask, no performance, just real grind. Stephanie's latest video was a whole monologue about how she's a real, because she shows her chaos. But babe, there's a difference between being real and being reckless. She wrapped it up with a petty little threat, saying if anyone came for her, she'd dig up their secrets too. But here's the gag, Morgan had no secrets to begin with. Stephanie was digging through public info like it was some buried treasure, only to find what Morgan had already handed the world with open palms. That's not exposing someone, that's just being late to the party. And in that long, rambling caption she added to the video, Stephanie tried to hit us with some deep, reflective vibes. talking about how people only show the clean corners of their lives online and how she's doing something brave by showing her mess. But let's not get it twisted. That caption? It wasn't growth. It was damage control dressed up as wisdom. If you've been watching her for more than a minute, you already know, it's the same script, different day. Same motel room, same lighting, same kids in the background looking like they've heard this monologue too many times. No new apartment, no job applications, no visible steps to change her situation, just more filming, more venting, and more trying to turn victimhood into a brand. She says it's about connecting with others who are struggling, but if you look closely, it's not about community, it's about sympathy. She wants people to pat her on the back for being a mess as long as she's honest about it, without ever doing the work to get out of it. It's performative vulnerability. A whole lot of emotional talk with zero follow-through. And the kicker? She keeps throwing around that line, "My kids deserve better," like it's some kind of shield. But words don't feed your kids. Words don't give them a safe home. And despite repeating that phrase over and over, she's made no real effort to back it up. Her kids are still in the exact same environment. Still in videos they shouldn't be in. Still stuck in a life that hasn't changed, no matter how many tearful captions she writes. Morgan? She clapped back with precision. No fluff, no dragging, just facts. She called Stephanie out for exactly what she's doing, talking slick without saying names, throwing indirect shots, and hoping no one notices the cowardice behind it. Morgan made it clear, if you're bold enough to imply someone's business, be bold enough to say their name. That fake humble act? Morgan's not buying it, and neither is anyone else paying attention. Stephanie wanted a moment, and Morgan gave her one, but it wasn't the spotlight she hoped for. And just when the internet thought things couldn't get any messier, Morgan went ahead and cracked the whole thing wide open. This wasn't just a clap back, it was a mic drop, a full-blown power move wrapped in receipts, clarity, and a confidence that Stephanie clearly didn't see coming. Morgan didn't come to play. She made it loud and clear that her business, that business Stephanie tried to shame, has nothing to do with her ability to parent. In fact, she broke it down for everyone like the grown woman and boss she is. She reminded her viewers that she's always been upfront about what she does. She's never hidden behind fake virtue or pretended to be someone she's not. From day one, she was open, transparent, and honest, not just about the nature of her content, but about why she does it. And here's the kicker, she's not just doing okay, she's dominating. Morgan didn't stumble into success. She created it. She didn't have a platform. She wasn't already famous. She didn't ride some viral wave. She built everything from scratch while barely scraping by, while her husband worked full-time and still couldn't cover their basic needs. There were no shortcuts, just long nights, strategic thinking, and a fire inside her to give her daughter a better life. Now, she's the face of the platform, she's the top seller. She's locking down major endorsements and generating real income, enough to not just survive, but thrive. She turned what people call a taboo into a legitimate, full-time business, and she's doing it all while being fully present for her child, emotionally, financially, and physically. Her daughter is taken care of in every way. Morgan isn't struggling. She's winning. Meanwhile, Stephanie, oh babe, this is where things got nuclear. Morgan hit a nerve most people wouldn't dare touch. She pointed out that Stephanie is still legally married to a man who's locked up for crimes so disturbing they don't even get repeated in casual conversation. And Morgan didn't say that to be petty. She said it to highlight the hypocrisy. Because Stephanie knew. She didn't just find out after the fact, she knew exactly what he did, and despite that, she chose to stay. She chose to have children with him. She stayed even after the truth came out. And now that same woman has the audacity to hop online and question Morgan's parenting? To shame her for selling socks and underwear while ignoring the fact that she built her life with someone who harmed others? That's what Morgan couldn't wrap her head around, and honestly, neither could anyone else. Morgan basically said, "You want to talk about what's shameful? Let's really talk about it."
First off, Stephanie, the moms who post their clean houses have probably cleaned their house 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times already. I know I have to, and I only have 2 of them. The difference is is we don't let it build up until we can make cleaning content. We also don't rely on our partners to do all of the cleaning when we're sitting on our asses. Okay, keep up. Hope this is helping. Second off, we're not posting about sending money to a country who is literally going through tragedy right now. But you are. Even though we don't really have a way to send money over there. I don't know where you're going to send it to, baby, but I guess try. Even though you're living in a homeless shelter. A homeless shelter. Not a hotel. We want to talk about manipulating situations. Hashtag hotel life. No, that's a homeless shelter. Be honest. Okay, let's be honest. Thirdly, I don't know who was talking to you about not showing your sexuality. We don't really give a fuck if you show your sexuality. We already know that you're easy. Also, if you really want to get technical about not showing your girls, blah, 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 you wouldn't have condoms sitting out. But, you know, you really want to smash onto people who are comfortable in their sexuality. That really shows pick me, girl. Really shows pick me. I think you really need to go to therapy.
She laid everything out with calm, collected energy. No yelling. No drama. Just facts. And she didn't say it to tear another woman down, she said it to draw the line between personal choices and accountability. Because here's what Morgan understands, being a mother means showing up for your kid. It means taking hard situations and making them work. It means not waiting around for a handout while using your kids for sympathy. And unfortunately, that's what Stephanie has been doing. Time and time again. While Morgan is out here building a brand and keeping her child's future secure, Stephanie is hopping from one pity post to the next, asking for donations, crying about online hate, and refusing to acknowledge that she has the power to turn things around if she just stopped playing victim long enough to actually do something. That's what made this whole thing so wild to watch. It was a full-blown character contrast. Morgan. She's the definition of self-made. She's consistent, focused, and clearly in control of her narrative. She's not perfect, and she never claimed to be, but she shows up for her family every single day. She's open about her flaws, but she doesn't use them as excuses. Stephanie? She's still stuck in the same cycle, blaming, deflecting, and expecting applause for bare minimum effort. She wants the world to support her but refuses to do the heavy lifting. So when Stephanie thought she was going to expose Morgan and come out on top, she ended up exposing herself instead. She highlighted every area where she hasn't grown. She showed everyone exactly why Morgan is where she is, and why Stephanie's still stuck. This wasn't just some messy internet spat. It was a whole lesson. A moment of truth, a side-by-side comparison between two very different kinds of women, one who faces her problems head-on, and one who hides behind them. And in the end, Stephanie's video didn't take Morgan down. It made the divide between them even clearer. One is leveling up. The other is standing still. Let me know what y'all think in the comments, because phew, this was a ride. Like the video, hit subscribe, and don't go anywhere. You already know more tea is coming, and I'm bringing it all.